Hey guys, my name is Ryan and welcome to Overwatch Central. So I do want to keep this video as short as possible, so I'm going to go straight into it. We had some changes on the PTR where you can now customize your own crosshairs. Now this is a thing that a lot of the good and pro players have been looking for quite some time. Much like games like CSGO, you can customize your crosshair to suit you and to make it as efficient as possible when it comes to aiming. Now before we get into what might suit what hero best, we need to go over the fact that you shouldn't copy the pros with this. That's the PSA, that's the main thing that I want to get out before other people make videos like this and you get taken for a ride. It's all about comfort and personal preference. Copying the pros' custom settings just isn't going to help at all, much like copying their DPI, having the same mouse as them, the same chair. It doesn't work. It doesn't make you as good as Tavik or Taimu just by having the same settings and optimizations that they have. So it's all down to your own personal preference, and you need to go into game yourself, into the practice range, and experiment and try out what works out for you. We are going to go over some suggestions of different ones that might suit different heroes. Once you've done that, you should definitely jump into quick play and fight against actual people and not just bots before you jump into custom and competitive games with the settings that you've got. So this is the most standard one that you are going to see a lot more of. It's the small crosshairs, maybe made a little bit smaller, a little bit more see-through, with a hole in the middle so you can see the targets that you want to headshot. If you're more of a person that's used dots up till now and want to get used to this, by all means put a dot in the middle, make it quite see-through with the opacity, and over time just make it disappear out like it was Marty McFly. Now let's go over the color, something that we've spoken about a lot. Why green? It's all personal preference again, but green and magenta are the best colors because they stand out the most. There is a little bit of science behind it. When it comes to TV screens and the like, the main colors that you'll see is red, blue, and green. But Ryan, I hear you say, in primary school they taught us that the main primary colors were red, blue, and yellow. Well, green's a little bit more standout on screens, hence why you have green screens in Hollywood and the like. And there's a dash of yellow in pretty much everything, whereas green is a little bit more of a standout color on its own. You can basically use any, but I would avoid using red or black because they just kind of blend into the background a little bit. So let's talk about the heroes that you should maybe just leave as dots. The likes of Genji spring to mind, Winston, that don't really require the aiming capacities. But we have seen a couple of people with Genji, whilst we're on that subject, making small crosshairs quite wide and quite large, just so you can show where your right click free shurikens thrown horizontally may hit. I wouldn't recommend it though, but if that's something that you want to try out, by all means give it a good go. The more common one, as we went over, is the very small crosshair. Works very well for the likes of McCree, for Soldier, Bastion. But when it comes to the likes of Soldier and Bastion in particular, because you have weapon spread, do keep your bloom on just to make sure that you are aware of the fact that your weapon spread's now starting to sort of go out of control, and you want to just keep tapping on your left click or your controller if you use one, just to make sure that those shots keep as accurate as possible, and it should be good to go from there. Other heroes I would use this for are the likes of Zenyatta, Orisa, and really small crosshairs should be default across other characters, unless you go, oh, this doesn't really work for me, so I'm going to change it up. So that's my general advice that I would give. As far as a little bit more of a different one, you want to work out the size of your rocket spread, make the circle nice and thick, but I would lower the opacity as well, just to show and make you aware of the size of your rocket spread as you're firing it. So long as your target's within the circle that you've put on screen, it should do a decent amount of damage. Reaper, Diva, and Roadhog all come under the same one, as they have massive weapon spread. So what you can do is actually make the circle really thick, make it sort of fill up the whole screen, and bring down the opacity and put a little dot in the middle, bit like a cherry on the cake sort of thing. It helps you sort of nail where the center of your screen is, but also having a nice see-through circle on your screen is a good way of showing where your weapon spread is, but just bringing it in a little bit more than you used to enables you to make sure that you can get those headshots in as well. This is also really good to have for the likes of Sombra, Tracer, and any other heroes that have a little bit of weapon spread there as well. Hanzo is a hero which I don't feel comfortable giving any customizable ones on. I still use the default one, but I don't play an awful lot of Hanzo, so do go into game, try it out for yourself. Maybe just small crosshair would work out fine, but do keep the bloom on just to show when your weapon is notched. Junkrat I'd actually keep as a small crosshair as well, because you'll be aiming above your target with a weapon just because it drops. Very similar to Torbjorn, by the way. Having that enables you to keep your weapon lined up with the target below, with the bottom dash, I suppose it would be. Reinhardt, just choose whatever, but do bear in mind it does mess with your depth perception a little bit, so don't just sort of do it willy-nilly and then jump into competitive, because it will feel a little bit weird. But certainly for the supports, as we went over, Anna, Lucian, Zen, small crosshair is great. If you're just unsure what to do, then that's a great way to start. Small crosshair, making it nice and not taking up a lot of your screen. Lower the opacity if you want, but just make sure that there's a little gap in the middle so you can see the target of your headshots. But that's all I want to go over. We've already gone over quite a bit of time as well, so thanks very much for watching. Do let us know what you think below. Please don't copy the pros, please don't copy anybody. Go into game and try it out for yourself and see if that works or not. But until next time, take care. We'll see you then.